Okay, Mr. Rojas, are you ready to put your clarinet together?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start with assembly. We always assemble with the case first on the ground so that if it's in your lap, there's no chance, if it's in your lap, there's a chance that you're going to drop it or it's going to fall. So leave it on the floor first. And we always assemble the clarinet from the bottom up. So real quick, say the parts of the instrument with me. This is the bell.
The bell.
Go ahead and point to it. This is the bell.
The bell.
Okay, this is the lower joint.
Lower joint.
Then we have the upper joint.
Upper joint.
Then we have the barrel.
Barrel.
We have the mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece.
Ligature.
Ligature. Ligature.
And your reed.
Reed.
And ideally we'll go ahead and do this. Go ahead and put this in your mouth and be soaking it while we put your clarinet together. Yeah, just like that. So it gets nice and wet. Okay, so first we're going to grab the bell of the clarinet. Very good, in your right hand, okay? And now grab the lower joint of the clarinet. Take the lower joint of the clarinet out of the case. I should not say grab. Okay? You're going to hold the back of the clarinet and with the palm of your hand, just like you're doing, yeah, so you're not touching the keys. Okay, and you're going to gently shimmy and twist the lower joint onto the bell, you're right. And this bell in particular has tape over the cork, so it was really easy to slide on. If you felt any resistance when you were doing that, that's when you know to stop and add cork grease, because you don't want to shove the corks together because then you can mess them up. Okay, so now still holding the back of the clarinet with your left hand, grab your upper joint. Okay. Yes, bigger end goes down first, and where these joints connect is called the tenon. So you're going to hold the back of the clarinet where the keys aren't. Right, and gently twist it into motion. And before we twist, we have to be careful about these bridge keys. Do you see these two keys?
Mm-hmm.
Those are going to line up. So this key is actually going to go down onto the lower joint. So you're going to shimmy and twist, careful not to clack those keys together. And again, if you would have felt any resistance, you would have added some cork grease. Yeah, good job, just like that. Okay, so now let's switch hands real quick. Let's put this hand on the back of the clarinet. Very good, okay. Moving on, we're going to grab the barrel. Just like the upper joint, it's fat end down. And yes, and with the same twisting shimmy motion, you're going to put it down there. Great, okay. Next, we're going to get your mouthpiece out of the case and go ahead and remove that ligature. Good, okay. So remember the reed is down, so you're going to, holding your clarinet like this with keys in front of you, place your reed on there. I mean place the mouthpiece with the same shimmy and twist motion. Remembering that the reed is going to be placed on this open side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good point.
Right, yes. Shimmy and twist. Good. Okay, now for ligature, grab your ligature. Normally ligatures have the screws on the right, but this is a rare case where the screw is on the left. So this clarinet, you're going to put the screw on the left side. You can go ahead and turn your clarinet around. There we go. Okay, so screws on the left side, you're just going to kind of plop it on there. It should fit very loosely. Good. Okay. And that's the entire part of the clarinet. Now we're ready for your reed. So you can go ahead and get your reed out of your mouth. Okay, flat side is going to go against the flat part of the mouthpiece. That's called the table of the reed. Flat like a table. Yes. And you're always going to slide the reed from the top into the ligature, because if we do it the other way, there's a chance of chipping the tip of your reed, which is irreparable, and then you have to buy another one. So you're going to slide it in there. And the rule of thumb is that it's straight lined up from side to side, and then it's lined up from the top also. And to check that, you should be able to see a thin like halo of white above, and then when you turn it around, you'll also see it there. And then just hold that reed in place and gently tighten the screws from the bottom to the top. And only tighten until you feel a little bit of resistance. You don't want to squeeze it too hard, because then you will dent the cane. It's a little crooked, but it'll work. It'll work for us. I'm going to turn it around. Good, yes, just like that. Okay, so you already have your left hand up on the top of the clarinet where you would normally play it. So well, not where you normally play it, but you know, your left hand goes on top. So let's talk about hand placement just briefly. Your right hand, we'll start with your right hand, is going to be on the bottom. Let's go ahead and put our clarinet in between our legs, kind of like the way we would play it. Okay, do you feel that thumb rest in the back? Your thumb is just going to rest there. And it should feel like kind of a natural curve. And your fingers just kind of fall onto those keys, just like that. And then for your left hand, your thumb, pick it up for this part, your thumb is going to rest over this key, but it's not always pushing it down, so it has to just kind of rest above, and it should be at a 45-degree angle, right about there. And then the fingers just fall into place on that part of your clarinet. Okay, go ahead and put it up to your face like you were about to play. Check the alignment of your mouthpiece. It might be crooked because you haven't put it up to your face yet. Good, and then of course the most important rule of thumb, the clarinet comes to you, you don't come down to the clarinet. So bring it up to your face and then out just a little bit between your knees. And that's how you play the clarinet. So for disassembly, you do it in the exact opposite direction. So you just finished your concert, it's time to put up. Let's start by loosening the screws of your ligature. And you might want to keep a grip on that reed just in case it were to slide through. Doubtful, because you would have been playing and it'll be sticky kind of. But. And when it's loose enough, right, you're going to pull it from the top. Good. And then kind of rub your fingers over it to seal the pores and help it dry up. And then go ahead and place it back in your reed case so you don't forget. I can hold on to this for a second.
Just straightforward?
Yes. Okay. Now time to take the ligature off.
It just comes off?
Mm-hmm. And then mouthpiece with the same shimmy and twist.
Does it matter which hand?
That's fine. There's no keys there, so I think it should be fine. Okay, and you can put the ligature on if you want. This case is a little smaller. So there's not really room. Okay, now we're going to take the barrel off. Yeah, and I would go ahead and turn the clarinet around so that the palm is holding not the keys. Good. Okay, and that goes in one of those holes. Okay, same thing, kind of switch hands. Yeah, that works. Shimmy and twist. Careful not to collect those keys. Very good. Upper joint. Okay, and then the bell. And remember, that's going to slide right off because it's a tape.
Okay.
Good job, Mr. Rojas. Now you have put together and taken apart your clarinet. Want to do that?